Hi everyone, it's me again. For those of you who might not have seen this before, my name's Gareth. I'm known online as BigFriendlyWarGamer, that's my user tags. And I sit here and talk rubbish for about an hour and I paint. And paint models, as I always do, which are normally Games Workshop stuff, but I may be painting some other models in the coming weeks or months or however long I do these for. And we're still on my iPad, so the camera's still a bit rubbish, but it does its job. So yeah, so basically what I'm going to be painting today is some Silver Tower stuff, and the full title of it is Warhammer Quest Silver Tower. Basically it's a dungeon crawler game where you have heroes and monsters, and they're not even monsters really, they're just bad guys. But what I'm going to try and finish are, I've got this guy here, he's called a Pink Horror. As you can see, he's nearly pink, but not quite yet. And this is a Stormcast something, a Liberator or something. He's nearly finished, but it's just a few little bits and pieces I've got to do on him. And then we've got these guys, which are Acolytes. I can't pronounce their first name. Kairic, I think they are. Kairic Acolytes. And they're mostly fleshy guys. And I'm up to the first... This is the first layer stage on these four. So I'm going to get bits of all of these done today. These six that I've got on my table now, excuse me, their bases are going to be, here's one I finished earlier. This is a Dark Oath Chieftain. His base is made to look like the Silver Tower tiles, dungeon tiles. And all of them are going to be like that. The Stormcast guy, as you can see, his base is a lot more like a turquoise colour. Purely because he's all gold anyway, and like a gold base with gold, yeah, it wouldn't look too good. So basically, I put him on a base where it's more greeny, turquoisey, bluey, whatever. So yeah, I'm going to use this again to tuck myself in to talk about my week. Let's pose this camera a bit better. View that's a bit better. So I'm going to use it to be my reflection time as well for the week. So it's the 27th of December, which means Christmas has come and gone, thankfully. I'm not a big fan of Christmas. When I was a kid, I was that kid who was up at 3 o'clock in the morning and all that kind of crap, and now I'm an adult and like I don't do that anymore, obviously. I'm sick of the whole thing. For me, Christmas now means more workload, no spare time, no time to myself. Which, yeah, it should be for family and everything, but when you're going through what I'm going through, I'm still fighting depression. I'm not over it, not by a long shot. And this week's been a hard week. I promise this won't all be woe is me, this whole video, because I've got to get my head out of the mindset, because at the moment I'm aching head to toe, which I can't seem to do anything about, and I'm getting frustrated by everything. Every little thing is winding me up. I can't help it. So I'm not going to get into that too much, but generally speaking, my week's not been a good week. But and I'm back to work. I went back to work yesterday because my company don't believe in time off over Christmas. Made us all go back Boxing Day. And this is after we've had a really hard year. And like personally, I've had a hard year, but professionally, company-wise, it's been a hard year. They've sacked people when they shouldn't have sacked people and whatever. But what can you do, you know? So this is more or less the first bit of painting that I've managed to get done in since probably the last time that I actually did one of these videos. And it's not through lack of wanting to. I really wanted to paint. It's just needing to wrap presents for Christmas and needing to do stuff and whatever. I just didn't have time. And that's kind of got to me a bit as well. I've not seen any of my wargaming friends now for over a week because I've not had the time, and it's going to be another 2 weeks before I'm back to my gaming club because we're not open over Christmas and New Year. But I'm arranging things at the club for January and stuff, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, it's been a hard week, and I've found that I've gone back to brewing again and bottling things up, which I've got to stop because it's doing my head in. We were always told in the sessions that getting over depression isn't a quick thing, and I know that. I know it's not, but I thought I was getting there. I thought it was helping doing these videos, and these videos do help because I get to talk with hopefully no interruptions, but knowing what my family's like, you never know. So yeah, it is what it is. But coming up, we got New Year, and I may have the house to myself. I'm not sure yet. My mum's not well again, so what they were planning to do may not happen now. They were going to be going to a wedding New Year's Eve. I don't think they're going to be going now. So again, I've not got the place to myself again, and it sounds selfish, I know, but it's sometimes you got to be selfish, you know. It's not a bad thing because you generally find people who are happy with their lives, who are doing what they want to do. They're selfish, and no one says anything about that. It's when you got people who give their time to others and that kind of stuff, and every now and then when they're selfish and people turn around and have a go at them, that's not fair. Not fair at all. But there you go. So yeah, so my week it's over now. Christmas, thankfully. Like I posted on Facebook that I hate Christmas. I really hate this time of year. And I don't think I haven't been alone. I've been with family and everything, but like we were playing Cards Against Humanity. If any of you have ever played that, you'll know how funny it is. Never play it with family. Never play it with your parents, because it's just wrong. But yeah, we played Cards Against Humanity Christmas Day while my nephews played on their new game consoles. Again, like it's not anyone's fault. It just made me realise that like it was me, and what, 4 couples, and it doesn't matter because it's a game and whatever, but it always still strikes me that I'm the only one that's not in a couple, and I'm like, it's I'm not saying that I have to be with someone, but it's just got to the point where I'm too content being by myself. So I'm just a bit sick of it. So that's why I didn't want to go out New Year's Eve. I wanted to stay in. I wanted to get some painting done, because quite frankly, I don't want to go out New Year's Eve if I'm by myself. Get all these couples rubbing it in your face, and I know it's not intentional and whatever, but it's still is frustrating. So I'm going to be indoors. I'm going to have some music on. I may even do one of these videos. I don't know yet. And I'm going to be painting, because these guys here are my target to get finished for the year. So if I get all 6 of these done, which is doable if I get a bit of time between now and the weekend to do bits and pieces like I am now, this will beat my target by 1. So put me on 201 painted models for the year, which, when you consider I work 10 hours a night. I work nights, so I said this before. When I work 10 hours a night, and I know everyone works and stuff and whatever, but like, it's a 12-hour day for me, because it's an hour travelling each way, roughly. It's a long day, and I try to get an hour or so painting in when I can, and obviously it's not happened the last few days, or last week really, because I did this last video I did was last Tuesday, so it has been over a week since I've painted anything. And like, I follow a Facebook group where it's about the drive to get armies painted and get your models painted and stuff, and I've set one up on Facebook as well. But I follow that, and some of the guys are like, oh, I painted 350 models this year and 600 models this year and whatever, and I'm like, but no, I don't know their personal circumstances. I don't know whether they work, whether they don't work, whether they've got kids, whatever, but I think I could get a lot more painted if I didn't work. Or if my job was to paint models, that would be quite cool. And jobs come up about, it's based in Nottingham. It's working for the company that makes these. It's Games Workshop. I try and keep these models in the actual camera, because I'm not. And it's a miniature painter, the job is, and I'm like, I could make this hobby my job. I'm trying to decide to go for it or not, whether I could do that, because I know I have periods where I don't paint because of motivation and stuff, and my neck is starting to hurt. But I think if I was around people who painted as well as I did, I'm not saying, no, I don't mean that in a, oh, I paint really well. I mean, in addition to me painting. So like the whole thing when I get in Games Workshop, when I'm sitting there and I'm chatting, I'm painting and stuff, like, if I had those kind of people around me all the time, I think I'd paint a lot more. And like I said, it's based in Nottingham, so it's not a easy thing. It means me moving away from family and not well, from my wargaming friends, but I don't have other friends, so that's okay. But maybe at 36 it's time I did that. Like, I don't know what property prices are like in Nottingham. I assume they're cheaper than London, because London's ridiculous. But I would assume rent's cheaper as well. So maybe I've got to do that. I've got till the 8th of January to decide on whether I'm going to apply for it or not. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to, because what's the harm in it? I just know that I can't keep doing what I'm doing without it affecting my health. So I've got to, whether I leave there and I work elsewhere, I've got to get out of the job I'm in. And I know everyone's going to say, oh, don't quit before you've got another job and it pays the bills and blah blah blah, but it's not always about that with work. So you've got to be happy with what you're doing, and you've got to be like, you've got to have the motivation to keep going. And every night at the moment going into work feels like I don't want to be there. I want to pull a sickie. And generally speaking, I won't. But I know there'll come a time when I'll be like, you know, I can't do tonight. I really can't do work tonight, and I'll have a night off sick. And I can't do this at the moment because we're so short of staff, and it's not fair on the other people I work with. They work just as hard as me, most of them. It's the company that is taking advantage of us, taking advantage way too much. And there's me going back to talking about work again. Right, talking about this, my hobby, yeah. So basically, with this Acolyte, excuse me, this paint I'm using is Kairic flesh tone. Yep, Kairic flesh tone. And it's not, I don't know whether it's just my paints, because I thin my paints a lot, because you've got to thin your paints all the time. But it doesn't seem to cover very well, so I find I've got to put 2 layers of it on. And so that's what I'm doing now. It may just look like I'm going over the same thing again, and I am. Which he then needs another layer of a lighter flesh tone. And I probably won't get to that today because I'm going to be chopping and changing between models. So I might actually get that Liberator finished today, the Stormcast guy, the big gold guy. He might be finished today. His base is nearly complete. He is actually nearly finished. He's very close. But yeah, I want to get these guys finished because I want to get them finished this week, really. So then I can focus on getting my commission painting done at the weekend. Yeah, I've got a 3-day weekend, and I always have a 3-day weekend. Oh, just like I said, I'm aching everywhere, and my neck is killing me at the moment. But I'm going to carry on painting because I want to paint. It's the only time in the past week I've actually had time to sit here and paint, so I'm going to carry on. But turn this like this because I can't keep sitting with my neck like that. So yeah, so for Christmas I did get some wargaming stuff. I got a game called Shadespire from my sister. Thank you very much, Kay. Oh, I said name. I'm not supposed to say names on here. But thank you very much. I also got a game called Necromunda, which is Games Workshop as well, from my parents. Thank you very much, Mum and Dad. And I'm pretty sure they won't watch this, so it's fine. But I literally haven't had a chance to even look at my... I opened my Christmas presents Christmas Day, and I haven't done anything with them since. They're kind of still sitting in the bags over there. Because, like I said, this is all the time I've had. So yeah, I'm hoping to get to some of them later on. I mean, the tiles for Necromunda can be used in other games as well. It's a form of game called Zone Mortalis. It's basically, it represents like, it's not sewer fighting. It's like spaceship combat. It's almost like a dungeon crawler then, but not quite. It's a little bit different to that. And me and a guy at the club used it for to play 30k on it, Heresy Gaming, and it was quite a lot of fun. I mean, it's only 2D boards, so it takes away a little bit of the 3D nature of the game, because obviously when you've got models that are like this, it's all 3D and whatever. But it was still quite good, and you can get a 3D set of the boards. They're actually called a Zone Mortalis. It's quite expensive though. And it's something I want to look at later in the year, because when I say later in the year, I mean next year, obviously, because later in the year is probably like this week. I want to buy a set. I've been wanting to buy a set for quite a while, and so yeah, I might do, but that will depend on, like, because I'm going to be learning to drive. And if I learn to drive and I can get a car, then it would be worthwhile, because otherwise the set will just sit here and collect dust like all my big models do, because I can't transport them to the club because I'm on buses. So yeah, so if I pass my driving test, when I pass my driving test, not if. See, being positive, I can be positive. I will buy a Zone Mortalis set, and I will get it painted, and we will use it at the club. But it will still be mine. The club isn't having it. Because I've given stuff to the club before, which, like, we're kind of a non-profit thing, but we take fees to buy new terrain. New terrain is scenery for the club. But Zone Mortalis is a bit pricey for the club, really. So yeah, I'm going to buy a set for myself and use it for myself, because I enjoy narrative gaming. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, but see, I'm looking at next year. I don't stick to resolutions, so I don't really keep them. But what I am planning to do is to continue painting, to keep walking, to keep learning to play the guitar, because that's coming on quite well. That's one thing at the moment I'm really happy with, is playing the guitar. It's really quite, it's because I use my PlayStation to play it. It's a game called Rocksmith, and it basically lets you learn to play the guitar by learning to play songs. So I couldn't tell you what chord was what on a guitar. I couldn't even tell you what the strings are called. But I'm starting to learn to play I'm trying to concentrate on one song, but I am playing others as well. And the one song is Painted Black by Rolling Stones, which I'm really enjoying. And I know it's quite an easy guitar riff, but there's no point starting hard, is there? So yeah, I'm going to carry on doing that. I'm keeping up my walking as well, as much as the Saturday just gone. I really didn't want to go out. I was just something at the moment. I'm making a lot because I'm sitting here and hurting my neck probably. But yeah, it's my legs mainly. My legs are really hurting. Like I woke up this morning and it's not cramp. I've been thinking for ages that it's cramp, but it's not. I've got something wrong with my legs, and I've got to go to the doctor about it, which I'm going to do, but I can't till start of the year now. I've got to get my blood pressure checked as well, because this is what started the whole downward spiral. I think is my blood pressure was stupidly high, and so I'm on blood pressure tablets, but I think that's coming under control, because I'm not, I want to say I'm not as stressed, but I am, because work's crazy. So I'm yeah, I've got to go back to the doctors. I'm going to just do that in the new year. But I need them to sort my legs out as well, because it's getting out of control now. Basically, what happens is when I keep waking up in the morning, because I work till 4 o'clock. I get home and go to bed about 5. I'm having like the muscles on my legs, on my calf, not my calf, on my shin even. They really like compress around my bone, around my shin bone, and compress is the best way I can describe it, because it literally it feels like the muscle is slipping between the shin bone, if you know what I mean. And oh, it's so painful. And like even now, I got up at 10 o'clock. And even now, my legs don't feel too good. I don't understand what it is, because when I walk on a Saturday, and I walk quite far on a Saturday, even last Saturday when I didn't want to, I still did it. I have no pain whatsoever in my legs. So people are going to say, oh, it's lack of exercise and stuff like that. And I'm like, it can't be, because I'm on my feet all the time. When I'm at work, I'm on my feet all the time. I walk a lot as well. I mean, at the weekend, on Christmas Day, me and my brother were talking, and he was saying about he regularly hits 15,000 steps and whatever, and I generally hit about 12,000 on a work night. So you got to bear in mind as well that my work night, it spreads across 2 days, so my watch doesn't recognise that. So at midnight it resets the clock. So there'll be some nights where I may walk a lot more than 12,000 steps, and there's other nights where I don't. But I thought I was doing quite well, and then he came out and said that, which is fine. I'm not in competition with anyone, but I don't understand why, if it's lack of exercise, why my legs are doing this. And it's worrying me a little bit that it's something more serious, and I don't know what. So I've got to go to the doctors and get this sorted, because I've had problems with my legs for ages now, and I went to the doctors a while ago and it kind of got sorted, it kind of didn't. They kind of just gave me some exercises to do and whatever, and I still do them even now, but it's developed beyond that now. It's like anytime I lay down, it's so painful. It's like if you've ever woke up with cramp in the middle of the night, like it's like that, but on the front of your leg, not on the back. Like I always suffer with cramps when I was playing football and stuff, but that was on the calves and the muscles and whatever. This feels different to that. It doesn't feel like it's, I want to say it's not muscle related, but it is muscle related. But it feels a lot more than cramp. So I'll get that sorted as well. I'm just falling apart. That's what it is. I'm getting too old. But and here was me thinking something I wanted to add into last week was I wanted to start a football training thing. Like it didn't have to be anything big, and just like some local people and whatever. Just get together every now and then for a kickabout. Bit of exercise, bit of banter, bit of fun. And with my legs being like they are, that ain't ever going to happen. So might as well forget about that. But yeah. So yeah, come the new year, like I put myself on for this year after June, I think it was, when Games Workshop released new edition of 40k. I put myself on a self-imposed model ban. This is not something new. I've done this before, and I'm still going. I'm still on it. I'm still sticking to it. I'm not buying any new models, and I know I've had new models bought for me, but that's different. That's for presents and stuff. Come New Year, I can actually buy myself some stuff again, which would be cool. Because there's some really nice models that I want to buy. I want to buy Magnus the Red because I want to paint him. I want to buy a Wraith Knight because I want to paint that. Mortarion, to me I'm not fussed. It doesn't strike me as being a really great model, so I may pass on him. But I think I'm going to be doing another commission, but it's only for a single model, so that'll be cool. And I don't know, maybe I should take on more commissions, but I want next year to be about me painting my stuff. And I'm not going to go overboard with buying masses of stuff again. I've got enough models here to last me a lifetime. I don't really need to buy anything anymore. And I know I will, because Games Workshop keeps releasing really nice stuff. But generally speaking, I'm not going to go overboard and impulse buy. I'm just going to go gently and buy a model every now and then, but not a lot. So yeah, that's kind of a resolution, a New Year's resolution. Just, like, slow down on what I'm buying. So I'm just running out of space. Like, I live in one room, and I literally have no space for anything. Like at the moment, the two games I got bought for Christmas, like they're on my bed at the moment because they get put on the floor when I want to go to sleep, and they get put on my bed again when I get up because I don't have anywhere to store stuff. And I know people will be like, oh, well, you should sell stuff you don't use. And what you've got to realise is I put a lot of time and effort into a lot of this stuff. And yeah, there's armies that I haven't used in ages and stuff like that, but they're my armies. I'm not in a financial position where I really have to go through and sell everything. I'm comfortable. So, and I've done that before. I went through and I sold models off before, and it's when it's something you've put time and effort into, it's soul destroying. It really is. So that was one promise I made myself years ago. I'd never get in a position again where I had to sell models because I was selling models to pay rent, just to pay bills. I'm never going to get myself in that position again. And it makes me think, like, in the future, like if it ever did come about and I could afford to buy a house, like, then I know I could cut out buying models. I know I could because I've done it. And I'd still have stuff to paint, and I wouldn't have to buy new stuff. So yeah, I know I can do that. So yeah, this guy now, the 4 guys, I've just done their second layer of flesh. So again, my camera's crap, so yeah. So yeah, they're about as done as I'm going to get them today, although I could do other colours on them. I want to get all their flesh finished before I actually move on to other colours. So we're going to switch to another model, I think, and either go for the pink horror, which I've probably made a really big mess of this guy, but he's not unsalvageable. I think I can make him a bit better, but I think I'm going to actually try and get this Stormcast guy finished, because like he's quite close to being done. Like, I've left his cloak black because I wanted it to be black. It's like a stark contrast to his gold. I want to paint that. He's got like a little emblem there. I want to paint that a gold, which I'm going to do once the rest of him's finished. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get his base finished, and I can't remember what gold I used. Great. Okay, so let's not do that then. That's good. So yeah, I'm just going to go and colour these bases in, I guess. So okay, because their bases are quite detailed. They're a bit awkward. I know what I've done wrong here. I shouldn't have put them on their bases. I should have painted the bases separately. But you know, that's the way it goes. So actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the metal, paint their weapons and stuff, because yeah, because I can't remember what colours I painted stuff, which I should have stuff written down on paper, and I don't, because funny enough, it's on my iPad, which is here, which you're watching me through. So I can't actually shift to looking at what colours I've painted stuff, because it's all on my iPad, which is very clever of me, I must admit. But it's okay, I can keep painting. I've got another 20 minutes or so of doing this, and I'm going to carry on painting afterwards. So I can. It's what it's 25 to 2 now. So if I can carry on painting till about 1:30, but I won't put this all on video. So basically, what I'm going to do is just give their swords a layer of silver, and we need that brush for that. And you saw me switch over the paint pots. I've got two water pots here, one here and one here. One of them I use for metallic colours because they have like a little flecks of metal in it. And as you can see or not see, well, I've got silver on my brush. But if you use the metallics with the normal a water pot that you've used normal paints, the metallics can contaminate the normal paints, and I've actually seen what it does, but I keep getting told it's a bad thing. I'm painting away from the camera again. So yeah, so I don't do it. I just stick to what I know. So I've always had two water pots. It does make it awkward when I'm not painting, when I'm painting elsewhere, not at home. But that's fine. He's actually got a lot more detail on him than the other guys have. So yeah, we're just going to be painting the weapons. Not even, yeah, I'll paint the blades, and then I'm pretty sure the rest of that blade should be gold. Because these guys, they're like Tzeentch. It's basically, there's 4 Chaos Gods in the Warhammer universe. You've got Nurgle, who's the Lord of Decay, who's basically makes plagues and stuff. You've got Slaanesh, who's the Lord of Excess, or the God of Excess, who basically depravity and stuff like that. You've got Khorne, who's the Lord of Wrath, who's bloodthirsty and the warmonger and stuff like that. And then you've got Tzeentch, who's the Lord of Change, the God of Change. He likes change. And these guys, the Acolytes, these Kairic Acolytes are worshippers of Tzeentch. So basically these weapons, the silver bit, they can have like a bluish tinge to the metal. And it's quite an easy thing to do. It's just like for shading metal or silver, you would normally shade it with a black. To give the blue tinge, you shade it with a blue. But I go a step further and I glaze it with a blue as well. It gives it a like really quite powerful blue effect. As you might be able to see the silver on them. So yeah, this Silver Tower it's a box game that I started painting a while ago, a long time ago actually. It started over a year ago, and it is nowhere near finished yet. But it's a work in progress. It'll probably be finished just in time for the next edition to come out. But that's fine, whatever. Well, I don't want to, like, Warhammer Quest for me, it holds a lot of memories of my gaming growing up. Basically, my old group of friends, we used to play Warhammer Quest quite a lot. Excuse me. And there were tales of a dwarf a dwarf troll slayer, who's basically, a troll slayer is, he wants to find death by the bravest way possible. He's basically, he's like a fanatic, basically. Yeah, and I was a troll slayer, and he went bankrupt, and he went destitute, and he was living on the streets. But like, troll slayers don't own wealth anyway, unlike the new troll slayers do, because they have it stamped in gold, stamped into their bodies. So yeah, that was quite amusing, and a little bit frustrating, but there you go. But this was back when Warhammer Quest had a different edition. This is Silver Tower. This is like, no troll slayer's ever going to go into poverty with Silver Tower, because it's a different setting, it's a different rule set, so you don't have all the after dungeon stuff like you did in the old Warhammer Quest. But yeah, it's still a fun game. There could be a bit more to it, like the whole progressing your character afterwards and stuff like that. But it's still fun. As long as you've got the right group of players to play it, it's quite a laugh. And in fact, no, I'm not going to go and do his. I was going to paint the Pink Horror's little dagger as well, but I'm not going to, because that Pink Horror, I'm pretty sure I want to strip him. I'm going to put him in methylated spirits and strip him. But going back, I always do 2 layers. Do a second layer on this guy with his sword, because 2 layers is better than 1. And this is why you thin your paints down, because you want to put multiple layers on stuff like swords, because it's a black undercoat, so it will show through some of the silver. So yeah, you just need to go over it again and just have it thinned down a little bit. It's like when you see a lot of the tutorial videos from Games Workshop, guy called Duncan Rhodes who does them, and there's a new guy, Peachy I think his name is. His thing is 2 thin coats. Everything's 2 thin coats, and it's been made into a bit of a joke, but it is really a good bit of advice, because if you slap paint on, like if you've been decorating, you slap a really thick coat of paint on, it looks terrible. And it's the same with model painting. If you slap a really thick coat of paint on, it does look really, really bad. And I've been guilty of it. Sometimes when you've got a paint which is just frustrating, it's just slap a thick coat on, and like, especially if it's a base coat, because like base coat's always going to get painted over anyway. But generally speaking, I don't do that now. I'm a little bit more, I won't say professional, there's nothing professional about me. We're coming up to 50 minutes, so I think I'm just going to finish painting the silver on these guys. Well, not for they finish painting the silver, I've finished painting the first layer of silver, because they have shades and highlights and whatever put on them. Excuse me. So yeah, I want to get these guys finished by the weekend. I've got two days where I could get a bit of time in here and there, and I should get a lot of painting done Sunday night. Excuse me. As long as nothing else comes up, but we'll see. You never know what's around the corner, do you? But I'm hoping to get these guys and the commission painting finished New Year's Eve, and then New Year's Day I can start next year's tally, I suppose. Because generally speaking, January I get a head start, and I probably will again this year, because there's bits and pieces that I've started but not finished. The guys that I started last week were the Intercessor Marines. Started them but didn't finish them. Some of the Imperial Fist guys, the guys in yellow, I started them but didn't finish them. And stuff like my Malifaux crew, who I started earlier in the year but never finished. I'm going to dig them out again because I've got some new ones for Christmas. And so yeah, I should hit the target. I should hit my 200 target, and if I get these guys finished in 201 and him 202. So I'm going to call it there, because I'm at a stage where I need to use my iPad. So again, I'm Gareth, or my online tag is BigFriendlyWarGamer. I'm on Instagram and I'm on YouTube. So yeah, if you want to follow me, go for it. Again, I always say, don't have to watch these, but thank you very much if you are. It does mean a lot to me that people do. So thank you, and maybe see you next week. Bye bye.